Opposition to the devolution of power is a symptom of an underdeveloped society, a statement from the president.
Team of German experts in Sri Lanka to investigate blackouts.
ඔය වර්ගයේ ට්‍රාන්ස්ෆෝමර් ලෝකේ තියෙන හොඳම වර්ගයක ට්‍රාන්ස්ෆෝමර් කවරදාකවත් ලෝක ඉතිහාසෙම පුරුල්ලා නැහැ.
A mafia is operating within the CB, a statement from Professor Thissa Vitharana.
විදුලි බල මණ්ඩලය තුල ඉලෙක්ට්‍රිකල් එන්ජිනේරු මාෆියා එකක් ක්‍රියාත්මක කරනවා.
550 acres destroyed by fires raging across the hills of Hatton and Kandy.
Price of bread to increase by 4 rupees from midnight.
Writ petition filed claiming Paddy Marketing Board is acting in violation of cabinet decision.
දරු අධිකරණයෙන් අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ ආණ්ඩුවට ඊට අදාළ නියෝගයක් ලබා ගැනීම.
Hello there, very good evening to all our viewers and welcome to Primetime News. We are coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst studios here in Colombo, and bringing you the news tonight. I'm Joel Outskun. Joined with me is my co-anchor, Florine Rajendra. Good evening, Phil.
Good evening, Joel, and a very good evening to all our viewers. Let's start off with a look at tonight's top story. President Maithripala Sirisena says that if any person harbours opposition to the devolution of power, it is a symptom of an underdeveloped society. The President was speaking at the 32nd Chief Ministers Conference, which commenced in Hikkaduwa today.
Chief Ministers Conference is being held in the Southern Province this year. Incidentally, this is the first Chief Ministers Conference being held since President Maithripala Sirisena assumed office. The primary motive of the conference is to build cordiality and cooperation among the provinces. While Chief Minister of the Northern Province, C.V. Vigneshwaran, was absent at today's conference, the Secretary of the province's Agriculture Ministry attended in his stead.
බලය බෙදීමේ සංකල්පය උගතුන්ගේ සහ බුද්ධිමතුන්ගේ
The concept of power devolution, developed by academics, intellectuals and constitutional experts on the basis of democracy, freedom, human rights and fundamental rights, is powerful in developed societies. If any person submits opposing views to this, it is a symptom of an underdeveloped society and a symptom of tribalism. It is a problem with regard to knowledge, intelligence and understanding. Prior to becoming president and devolving power through the 19th Amendment, I set an example for power devolution during my time as a minister. I came here to give and not take. That is my policy. This understanding is imperative to the functioning of the government and the provincial councils. As a new government, in the enthusiasm we are showing towards forming a new constitution, it is evident that we need to strengthen the provincial councils. We are thinking about how we can address the problems in society, the day-to-day problems facing the people, through the devolution of power within a united, unitary state.
මේ සියල්ල පිළිබඳව වඩා සුබවාදී ආකල්පවලින් සහ සුබවාදී වැඩපිළිවෙලකින් අපි අපේක්ෂා කරන කටයුතු කරන්නේ කොහොමද?
On to your developing story tonight.
Minister of Power and Renewable Energy Ranjit Siambalapitiya says the reports on investigations conducted into the recent blackouts will be presented to the President and Parliament on Wednesday.
At a media briefing held this evening, the minister noted that a team from Germany is currently inspecting the two transformers which were damaged due to explosions last week.
Transformers at two of the main grid substations owned by the CEB in Birgama and Kottagoda were damaged due to explosions last week. The first explosion at the Birgama substation on Sunday, the 13th of March, triggered an island-wide blackout when the Naracholi power plant automatically ceased operations. As a result of the time taken to repower the Naracholi power plant, the CEB was unable to maintain an uninterrupted power supply throughout the island last week. However, shortly after normalcy was restored through the repowering of the Naracholi power plant on Friday, another explosion damaged a transformer at the Kottagoda grid substation. The government is conducting investigations into the sudden explosions. One of the investigations is being conducted by a Japanese team, which is due to submit a report in 2 days.
ඔය වර්ගයේ ට්‍රාන්ස්ෆෝමර් ලෝකෙ තියෙන හොඳම වර්ගයක ට්‍රාන්ස්ෆෝමර්.
These are some of the best quality transformers in the world. Such sudden explosions have never been experienced anywhere in the world. We cannot help being suspicious about the circumstances. Investigations are underway. A team of engineers from the German company which manufactures the transformers will arrive in Sri Lanka today. They will determine what happened, whether it was a technical fault or otherwise.
ළඟායමක්ම ලංකාවට එනවා. ඕන් හොයාගනි මොකද වෙලා තියෙන්නේ? තාක්ෂණික ප්‍රශ්නයක්ද නැද්ද වෙන මොකක්ද?
Meanwhile, as a result of hydropower generation being limited to 22% due to prevailing dry weather conditions, the CEB has become increasingly dependent on thermal power plants. CEB data indicates that 44.7% of the national power supply is being met through high-cost fossil fuel power plants belonging to both the government and private sectors. Ministry Secretary Suren Bhattagoda points out that given the current situation, this step has been taken to ensure an uninterrupted power supply.
Well, now the power crisis will be widely discussed with the participation of energy experts, including the chairman of the Ceylon Electricity Board, Anura Vichaypala, on Face the Nation today.
Stay tuned to TV1 at 9:30 p.m. tonight. At a media briefing here today, Professor Tissa Vitharana expressed the following views on the prevailing power crisis.
විදුලි බල මණ්ඩලය තුල ඉලෙක්ට්‍රිකල් එන්ජිනේරු මාෆියා එකක් ක්‍රියාත්මක.
A mafia of electrical engineers is operating within the Electricity Board. The Public Utilities Commission had advised the Ceylon Electricity Board not to establish 300 megawatt power plants in Norachole and recommended that it be broken down into 3 100 megawatt power plants and to expand as the need arises. However, they failed to comply. It is not enough to have only electrical engineers to supply electricity. There must be mechanical engineers to operate the machines. There must be chemical engineers as well. Decisions are being made solely by the electrical engineers, disregarding the former chief mechanical engineers of the Norachole power plant. This is the mistake.
අර තනි ඉලෙක්ට්‍රිකල් එන්ජිනේරුවන් විතරයි තීන්දුව ගන්න තැනට ඇවිල්ලා තිබුණේ. ඉතින් ඒකයි වරද.
Professor Tissa Vitharana also spoke about purchasing electricity through privately owned power plants.
නොරොච්චලෙන් පිටවෙන ගල්අඟුරු හරහා
The CEB has to bear the cost of 6 rupees per unit for power generation through coal via the Norachole power plant. But the cost that is incurred through the agreement signed with private companies is 17 rupees. The agreements allow payments up to 65 rupees per unit. There is a private company called Heladanavi which provides diesel power up to 100 megawatts. There's another called AS Mathara which supplies 60 megawatts, and also one in Amblipitia which supplies 100 megawatts. They are turning to these companies now.
මෙගාවට් 60ක් ලබා දෙන එක. තව එකක් තියෙනවා ඇම්බිලිපිටියේ මෙගාවට් කීයක් ලබා දෙන එක. දැන් මේවට තමයි හැරෙන්නේ.
As mentioned in our headlines tonight, the farmers of Karula Gaswav in Putlam staged a demonstration today demanding a reasonable price for their paddy harvest.
The purchasing of paddy from the storage facilities in Thabova, Karula Gaswav commenced 3 days ago. Farmers purchased close to 2,000 kilograms of paddy a day. The price of paddy, which is stocked daily in storage facilities, stands at 200,000 rupees. The farmers point out that new marketing methods introduced for paddy has caused great difficulties.
Usually, as soon as the paddy is purchased, the money is deposited at the banks the very next day. But now there is no set day for the money to be deposited. Now the bills are distributed by coupons for nearly 2,000 acres of land. The distribution is done by only 2 persons. We are severely inconvenienced as we have no bills. This has been going on for almost a week. They do not issue bills regularly. They will issue it for 2 days and then it stops. All of a sudden they will resume the issuing of bills, and we are greatly inconvenienced because of this. Even though we supply paddy, there is a small problem, which is the failure to release the money to us from the banks. The new year is just around the corner, and the farmers would also like to celebrate the festival. It will be good if the government can distribute the money methodically before the new year.
The farmers who are desperate to sell their paddy stocks have to face another problem, which is the absence of sacks to store their harvest. Even though the government had decided to provide paddy sacks for 30 rupees each, the sellers in the area are selling each sack for 40 rupees.
We used to purchase sacks for 30 rupees those days, but now the prices have increased to 40 rupees. We suffer a loss of 10 rupees there as well.
A writ petition which claims that the Paddy Marketing Board is operating for the benefit of paddy mill owners in violation of a cabinet decision was taken up before Justice Preeti Sri Padman at the Court of Appeal today. The petition filed by the All Ceylon Peasants Federation, the United Rice Manufacturers Association and the Small and Medium Scale Mill Owners Association seeks that certified prices be established for the various types of rice.
10 parties, including the Paddy Marketing Board, the Minister of Rural Economic Affairs, the Finance Minister, the Agriculture Minister and the Consumer Affairs Authority have been cited as respondents. The petitioners are requesting a writ of certiorari against the Paddy Marketing Board for acting in violation of a cabinet decision. The court announced today that the petition would be considered again on the 29th of this month. The price of paddy has dropped to 17 to 18 rupees a kilo, but the price of rice is above 75 rupees a kilo. Against this backdrop, both the farmer and the consumer have become victims of serious theft. There are provisions under Act No. 17 of 1971 for the Paddy Marketing Board to take steps in this regard. Accordingly, we hope that the respected court will issue an order. It is the Paddy Marketing Board that must decide the certified price for paddy. However, the certified price has been decided by the Secretary of the Ministry of Food Security. The law has been broken. We are of the stance that as an independent institution, the Paddy Marketing Board must intervene to protect the farmer and the consumer. Paddy is being purchased at 17 to 18 rupees per kilo from the farmer, but the price of a kilo of Nadu rice is above 80 rupees. This is the disparity. The farmer is not receiving a fair price when it is purchased at 18 rupees, and the consumer is not receiving a fair price when rice is sold at 80 rupees. Black market businessmen are making a profit of more than 60 rupees per kilo. The Consumer Affairs Authority has neglected its responsibility. The Paddy Marketing Board has neglected its legal responsibility. The Agriculture Ministry too has neglected its responsibility.
Nearly 550 acres of land has been destroyed in fires which are spreading in the mountainous regions of Hatton and Kandy.
Our correspondent said that efforts by the Sri Lanka Air Force to douse the fire which erupted in the Hatton area were unsuccessful.
According to our correspondent, close to 500 acres of land was destroyed in the fire, which erupted in the Kirigaltanna Reserve area in Bopattalava, Hatton. An Mi-17 type helicopter was dispatched by the Sri Lanka Air Force to douse the fire. Air Force spokesperson Group Captain Chandima Alves said that a team of 6 Air Force personnel were also dispatched to contain the fire from the ground.
The agriculture community and the estate community together with the Air Force have been containing the fire from one side since last night.
Another fire which erupted in the Dayagama area in Hatton last evening left around 10 acres of land destroyed. Meanwhile, around 25 acres of forest land was destroyed in a fire which erupted in the Hantana mountainous area in Kandy. According to our correspondent, 2 teams of army personnel were dispatched to contain the fire.
The fire erupted in the morning. We informed the army, then the army arrived and doused the fire.
The Department of Wildlife Conservation says that nearly 60 hectares of farmland have been destroyed in forest fires during the course of this year.
If an individual sets fire to a forest or anyone who assists that individual can be arrested without a warrant. Don't engage in any activity which will result in a fire. Certain people residing in neighboring areas set forest fires for pleasure. That's very dangerous. Apart from the negative impact this has on the ecosystem, this will also affect the water sources.
In some weather news this evening, the Department of Meteorology says that exercising in the outdoors amidst the warm temperatures which is affecting the country is harmful to the body. Now, the department added that the extremely warm weather will cease to a certain extent during the latter part of April.
As the warm weather continues to affect several parts of the island, the highest temperatures were reported from the Kurunegala district over the past 24 hours ending at 8:30 this morning. A staggering 37.9 Celsius degrees was recorded in the district. Anuradhapura recorded a temperature of 37.8 degrees Celsius, 37.7 degrees Celsius in Mailupalama, Vaunia 37 degrees Celsius and 36.3 degrees Celsius in Jaffna. The lowest temperatures were recorded from Norelia with 14 degrees Celsius. Those taking part in any outdoor physical activity under the immense heat should take precautions to avoid cases of dehydration. We would like to request the general public to slightly refrain from exercising in the outdoors because it could cause certain health hazards. We are expecting this dry weather condition to prevail until the end of this month, after which the intermonsoonal weather condition will occur where we will receive a considerable amount of rain. Nevertheless, we are expecting to receive a much lesser rainfall in the month of April than what is usually experienced during this month. We will only receive some sort of relief with the southeastern monsoonal weather conditions which will occur during the latter part of May. The Department of Meteorology says that temperatures in most parts of the island these days has risen by 2 to 3 degrees Celsius. This warm temperature has been experienced because we have not received intermonsoonal rains at the usual period and due to change in wind patterns in the atmosphere. There is another reason behind this. There is an increased amount of water vapor in the lower atmosphere at present. When the amount of water vapor increases, along with the increased temperatures, we feel that it is hotter than what is recorded. Meanwhile, at a media briefing, General Manager of the National Water Supply and Drainage Board, Ranjit Balasuriya, said that there is no need for disruption in the water supply. Never have we stated that there will be a disruption in the supply of water. I think as far as the country's history goes, we have never had the need to cut the supply of water during the Sinhala Tamil New Year. We are currently experiencing the most difficult days. Tomorrow is Poya, which causes a high tide. And anyone knows that in the months of May and September the sun travels closest to the earth, causing a high demand for water due to rising temperatures. Due to the high demand, there may be a situation where certain areas may not receive water. So at times like this, we will supply water through bowsers. Apart from this, there is no intention nor requirement to cut the supply of water.
Welcome back to the news. A group of SLFP local government representatives convened a media briefing today to comment on the recent rally held at Hyde Park in Colombo.
Who organized the Hyde Park rally? It was organized by ministers in Mahinda Rajapaksa's government who did not even give a lozenge to SLFP supporters when they were in power. This is a cunning conspiracy to get their henchmen elected to the upcoming local government elections. We kindly request these so-called seniors and powerful persons in the SLFP to please let us protect the party, stop this drama, stop this life and join with the chairman of the SLFP to move forward. When the former president was defeated, he felt that he could not run the party, so he called the current president to the speaker's residence and handed over the party. Now when the president is running it, they are attempting to split the SLFP by using the nonsensical and demagogical speech of persons from diluted minor parties. This is clear to the people. Do not do this. If you have any love for the SLFP, then come for talks with President Maithripala Sirisena, the chairman of the SLFP.
As
we continue to look on patiently, we wonder if they think it is our weakness. If that is what you think, then you are being deceived. If they have such crowds and such support, then Mahinda Rajapaksa should have won the presidential election, shouldn't he? They have been defeated and we will not dance to their tune. We are patient, but we will not be patient for too long into the future. We wish to know that we will act in line with the laws of the party. We will take the necessary decision. Those who want to can stay. Those who want to leave can leave. The SLFP will continue to function as a pure party with good quality people.
Minister of Housing and Construction Sajid Premadasa inspected the Hambantota Sultan today.
Minister Sajid Premadasa laid the foundation stone today for a sports ground that is to be constructed near the Sultan. The minister then conducted an inspection tour of the Sultan. Subsequently, the minister granted permanent appointments to 100 female workers at the Sultan and presented educational equipment to their children.
An unusual phenomena in politics today is that you see people on stage speaking in a way that brings tears to the eyes as if they are holy persons or arahants. But the moment they get off the stage, they become the world's biggest Devadattas and Ajasathas. They have done some of the nastiest things possible. In the coming weeks, you will find out exactly how much the majority of those who stole from the country have in their bank accounts in dollars and rupees. Then you can reach a true conclusion regarding the miracle they speak of.
On to another one of our headline-making news. The price of a loaf of bread is to be increased by 4 rupees from midnight.
The price of flour was increased by 7 rupees and 20 cents by the flour company, which gave rise to much controversy last week. We were informed that the import tax on wheat grain had been increased by 6 rupees. However, the government later stated that the price of wheat flour in the world market has reduced drastically at this moment, and therefore the relief from the import tax had to be reduced. The increase of 7 rupees and 20 cents cannot be borne by the bakery owners. After much deliberation, the All Ceylon Bakery Owners Association has decided hesitantly to increase the price of a 450-gram loaf of bread by 4 rupees.
Police opened fire at a van in the Urapala area in Vatupitawala early this morning while fleeing after breaking into a liquor store.
An unidentified group had attempted to burgle a liquor store in the Unagahadeni area in Vatupitawala, Nittambuwa around 2:30 this morning.
I got a call saying that the bar had been broken into. So while I was driving towards Unagahadenia, there were crates all over the road. After a while, the police arrived.
Following a tip-off received to the 119 police emergency hotline, officers of the Nittambuwa police took measures to apprehend the suspects. The police pursued the van until the Urapala junction, which is around 4 kilometers away from the Unagahadeni area in Vatupitawala. As the driver of the van ignored police orders to pull over, the police opened fire at the vehicle, causing it to lose control and crash. The suspects in the van had fled the scene. Police said that preliminary investigations have revealed that the van was registered to an individual in the Kahatudu area. They added that the individual had provided the van on rent. Police investigations are underway in search of the suspects.
The 80th birth anniversary of cinema legend Gamini Fonseca was commemorated today. A versatile personality who rendered a yeoman service to both politics and cinema alike is remembered by all to date.
Gamini Fonseca, who was born on the 21st of March 1936, pursued his primary education at the Presbyterian College in Devala, while the latter part of his school life was spent at St. Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia. Completing his secondary education in the year 1956, Gamini Fonseca embarked on a cinematic journey with his debut movie, Rekava.
He acted in movies with so much of commitment. Using the knowledge he had, he helped his fellow artists. We did not have and still do not have an institution which teaches us how to perform. He gained knowledge on his own. He was also knowledge on how to perform in a unique way which suited our industry.
When my father was alive, he used to play music tracks of the films, maybe because he wanted to remember them always. All 4 of us still like such things. Even our children are like that. They also share the same love and passion we have towards cinema and music.
He soon catapulted to a cinema icon with movies such as Sandeshya in the year 1960, Ranmutudua, Gatavareo, Devareo and Gamperila, which captivated the hearts of audiences here at home and abroad. He showcased his exceptional prowess as a director through the movie Parasatumal. Gamini Fonseca, who was fondly remembered by many as an actor, entered politics in the year 1989 from the United National Party. He was appointed Deputy Speaker after being elected to Parliament from the Mathura district the same year. Gamini Fonseca served as the Governor of the North and East during the tenure of former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga. He also functioned as the Group Director of the Capital Maharaja Organization Limited. Gamini Fonseca, who breathed his last on the 30th of September, 12 years ago, at the age of 68, constantly remains strong in our midst.
In more news this evening, News First Chaturanga Hapurachi caught up with the country lead of Google for Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, Fazal Ashfaq, to discuss a project jointly organized by Google and News First.
For this Aurudu Megapolar project, you're partnering with News First here in Sri Lanka. Can you tell me the reason you all chose News First as Google?
Yes, absolutely. So whenever Google works on such projects, we go in with a host of partners that know the local landscape and have an established presence in the country. News First has island-wide reach, a very high engagement in terms of all the programs that go online, and in our conversations we found News First to be incredibly supportive of all digital initiatives that are coming. I know there are a number of initiatives within the organization. So far you guys have been very supportive, and we're counting on that support to bring the message of the online shopping festival, Aurudu Megapolar, to more and more Sri Lankans across the country.
Match number 22 of the ICC World T20 is currently underway, with Bangladesh taking on Australia in Bangalore. Being put to bat first, the Bangladeshis recovered from a slow start after losing wickets at regular intervals to post a formidable 156 for 5 in their 20 overs.
Well, an unbeaten 49-run came here from Mahmudullah and a well-made 33 from Shakib Al Hassan ensured that Bangladesh crossed the 150 mark. Chasing their target, Australia were 9 runs for no loss in 1 over.
Chairman of the Sri Lanka Cricket Select Committee, Aravinda De Silva, says that the Sri Lankan team must be compiled according to its strengths.
He made this statement while speaking on the Inside Sports program on our sister channel Serasa TV following Sri Lanka's 7-wicket defeat to the West Indies in the ICC World T20 last night.
Well, that's a wrap of primetime news here at News First. For the News First team, I'm Florine Rajendran.
And I'm Joel Outskun. Have yourself a safe night. Take care. Good night.